Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Friday, it's the 13th. It's Friday, May the 13th. You know, I'm not superstitious at all. Didn't even, well, mainly because I understand from many sources that the number 13 is actually a power number. It's not a bad number. What's going on? Just thought I'd check in. Couple of records to show, couple of thoughts to share. I thought I'd start out by a while back. I think it was Vinyl Richie that kept asking, or asked once about that one block of dark spines back there. They just happen to look like they're part of a set, but they're not. This is. I'll just pull it because it's nothing. This section here is in the E section, and it's not part of a set. That just happened to look like it. So I pulled and then we'll get to the main part of the black. But E-Rock, German drummer, number 2. I don't speak German. I like the label Brain. E-Rock number 1. Equal Stones. I was recently talking about this. Amanda Shapp. His music. This is the latest. This is the one before it. Transgression by Equal Stones. This is some good ambient stuff. Epitaph, Outside the Law. You know, I haven't played this in a while. This is some hard rock. I think it's a German band. I haven't played this in a long time. I need to play this and remember what it's like. I don't even remember what it sounds like, to be honest. Epidaurus. This is one of those prog rock albums. It's a reissue. Garden of Delights, numbered. The music is wonderful. The vocals, I really can't stand the vocals. Friend from Chicago, Ellis Clark's band. Epicycle. Power pop psychedelia mix. Good stuff. Okay, and then we get to the point where it looks like they're all related, but they're not. The first one is Envy Core. It Calls You. I think this band is from Iowa. Really, really nice. I wouldn't call it shoegaze. I don't have a good name for it. I just think I like this band. I think they're good. Good songs. Good songs. Guitar oriented. And then Enslaved. I believe it's Eddie Perez. Did you give this to me, Eddie? Enslaved, In Times, numbered. Thank you so much. Vertebrae. This was given to me by another person who I encountered to the BC. I forget his name, but he lives in Europe, and he said he was downsizing and gave me some Enslaved records. Retier. Love this album. Love this band. It's not about the words for me. It's not about the Norse history and stuff, you know, all that. That's fine. It's the music. I relate to the power of the music. And in that sense, I feel like I'm a universal member of the family of man. I'm not Norse, obviously not white, but those are my brothers as far as I'm concerned. Love this album. Axioma Ethica Odini. This is the first Enslaved album I got. Just, love it. So that's what that is. And then the next is Roger Eno, Brian Eno's brother. Voices by Roger Eno. Piano music. Nice. I have his other album. What's the name of this one? Between Tides, Roger Eno. Lovely music. And then we get into the Brian Eno. Lux. Actually, I had taken this with me. I didn't show it, but I took this with me to my... Well, no, I was thinking of taking this with me to my DJ spot last week if there was going to be a spot where this would work, but I didn't. Brian Eno's My Squelchy Life, an album that finally was released years after it was made. And I can see why Brian didn't put it out. It's just okay. This isn't all that great. Eno Hyde, Everyday World. Now, Someday World, when I first got this used, I was disappointed. But I recently watched a music video for it, and sat all the way through it and finally got it. Eno really likes to sing. He likes to sing out very unashamedly and almost like old style, sitting around the kitchen table and singing. And that's kind of what's going on here with these songs. And once I caught that, it's like, okay. And there's a big African thing with the rhythm. I like this. Small Craft on a Milky Sea, Brian Eno. This is another one of his where it took me a while to warm up to. It took me a while. But Brian Eno is just an important figure when it comes to Western music and developing ideas that push things forward. Here's another one that I think is better than it got reviews for. Drums Between the Bells. Brian Eno with the words of Rick Holland. I like this one. So that's what that section is up there for you, Ricky. These babies right back. Some other stuff. Someone had asked me if I was a Santana fan and if I would review the new album, please. The answer was no, because I don't have the new album. I respect Santana, and his music looms large in my life. But I'm not a fan that I know that you got original members of Santana back. I'm really not all that interested. If I hear it, I'll hear it, but am I seeking it out, interested in what the Santana reunion album sound like? But not really. To be honest, I'm not even that interested. If I hear it, I'll hear it. Which brings to mind another, what I consider more mainstream sort of release. Well, let me just put this together so it'll be fun. So let's see. Eagle Stones. So it's just showing. Okay, so recently became friends with Greg Eklund of the band Everclear. That's Greg. No, that's Greg. And we played together for the first time recently. We jammed over at his house and it clicked. I'm the sort of person that I can't fake. I don't like to fake things. If it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not. And I've jammed with people where it was really obvious almost right away, this isn't going to work. And I clicked with Greg immediately. He plays simply, but he plays groove. He hits the pocket right away. I can really tell that he grew up loving ska music and international music. Greg was raised in Britain, not in America, and so his pocket is nice. So anyway, we're getting to know each other really pretty well, and I like Greg, and he's big into music. His taste is different from mine, and he's been raving about the new Beyonce to me. And I know that Beyonce is good, but she's so mainstream, and her sound is so tailored for the modern commercial mass media ears that I don't even want to be in the same room, because it just feels like it just goes against what I'm about. Okay, but anyway, he really likes the new one so well that he bought a download and burned a copy of it for me. He really wanted me to check it out. So he burned it for Beyonce's Lemonade, the whole album with the book and stuff. So I listened to it yesterday, and I'll give my review. Beyonce's new album is very emotional. It's obviously about Jay-Z getting caught cheating. So in that sense, it's very intense, but that's not why I listen to music, nor do I care. I just don't care about songs about relationships. That's the music. So when it comes to the music, the album is a kind of a wonder. I mean, she can afford to work with anybody she wants to, and so the production on this is very interesting and very varied. So there's lots of stuff going on But the setting that it's in, I don't want to be there. It's, you know, it's like when I hear Beyonce, it's like being in a mall, and I want to run for the exit quick. But thanks, Greg, for turning me on to it. You know, he loves it. He can't stop playing it. You know, and I appreciate that. You know that Greg is open to sharing with me and is not even concerned about my history of being slightly a snob. I have been a snob in the past, you know, and I'm not snobbing off Beyonce. I just explained to you that's not a space I want to be in. The mental and emotional space that Beyonce and a lot of commercial records put you in, I don't want to be there. Something else that's out that I didn't play, but I had it out because yesterday was his birthday, Malcolm X. And Malcolm X was from Omaha, and a lot of what they say about him is propaganda. He was on a par with Martin Luther King once he woke up and realized the family of man is one, and if you're going to fight for the rights of one group, you got to fight for the rights of all, which we have apparently forgotten that message because right now the world is so divided, especially here in America, well, probably everywhere. We are so divided thanks to politics, thanks to selfish greed, and the ruling class insisting on having it their way, and just destroying the fabric of society, in my opinion. So I am at the point where I don't have anything to trade that I want to give up. The last group of records I took in to trade to Almost Music, I got very little for because it's at that point. You know, I have stuff that's worth money. I don't want to get rid of it. So the last two things I was able to get from trade were two used albums. The Haxan Cloak. I believe this is One Person Excavation. Dark, moody electronics. Wonderful. Man, talk about some really nice deep bass rumblings and just movie in the mind. This just creates such a movie of the mind, you know. I don't see like darkness like death and stuff, but just more like mystery and time. Haxan Cloak. This is really good. I had showed you recently where I had bought the reissue of this German cosmic music album that's rare but fantastic, Sand, Gollum. So I got this one. I told you about how that same day my friend Jerry Hugg bought for me this other one that had never been released until recently by Sand. North Atlantic Raven, just as good as Gollum. So I went and got a third of the four. There's four of them that have been released by this label, and they're all good. This one is called His First Steps. Love this artwork on these by Steve Stapleton of Nurse with Wound. He goes by the name of Babs Santini on here as a visual artist. But these are all just highly recommended. They're really highly charged sessions where these guys are just really into it, and it's just got this spark and this psychedelic edge. This shit is really good. Sand. So I got that. Some other records that I played recently. My copy is beat, but you cannot top this album. James Brown, It's a Mother. Good grief. It's just jamming from the top to the end. You know, Mother Popcorn is just one of the funkiest records. I remember as a teen that house parties would just erupt when you'd put on James Brown. And Mother Popcorn, everybody was, all of a sudden it was a dance-up. Everybody's trying to see who can do the popcorn better than anybody else. Fun times. And then he goes into mashed potatoes popcorn, y'all. Yeah. There was no other like James Brown. Prince followed in his footsteps. There was only one James Brown. What else have I played? Well, the band Sun Ambulance that I'm in, Saddle Creek Records, we got a gig, and I'm glad that Joe decided to switch it up. We're going to play several old Sun Ambulance songs that he hasn't played in years. And we're also doing a tribute to Bowie. We're playing The Man Who Sold the World. And so I pulled this out just to brush up and make sure I was playing it right. And was happy to... I had forgotten that my album still has the poster, has the Bowie poster. So that was a nice bonus of pulling the album and playing it. So I forgot it had the poster. Bowie and Prince, two angels, two musical angels. That's what I say. Yeah. Forever I will be praising David Bowie and Prince for what they did for my life. Chick Corea and Return to Forever, Light as a Feather. Listen to this with my brother the other day. This is just some of the most fantastic, good-feeling music that you can ever hear. You put this on and like the sun comes out to me. I mean, mentally, it's like you put this album on and everything gets lighter and better and feels better. This is just an amazing album. Chick Corea. Played some Johnny Griffin. Johnny Griffin was like an uncle to me. He grew up with my dad in Chicago. And whenever Johnny would come through Omaha, whatever he was doing, he would always come and visit us, and we called him Uncle Johnny. This is his album Live in Tokyo. And Johnny was the sort of person who wasn't like a real hot blaster of a sax player. He's very good, though. And so that's where his reputation came from. Very, very consistent, emotional, makes you feel what he's playing. But not a John Coltraneer, but Uncle Johnny Griffin. I have fond memories of Johnny. He was a good man. He was nice. This is still out because a couple weeks ago I had played this out in the living room. BGK, Dutch punk rock band that I had the great fortune of playing with when they were on tour one time in the 80s. RAF opened for them. And they signed my album for me because we had a great night. It was just one of those nights where it was just... It's what I live for. It's, the magic of music, friendship, energy, raising energy. It's just the best. It's just the best. Pulled this and played this. I guess it was the 50th anniversary or something recently of Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant. And for many people, this is a Thanksgiving tradition to play. I don't make any association with Thanksgiving, even with the story. It just looms large in my memory of growing up, hearing it on underground radio, the whole 18 minutes worth, and that being a big deal. Played this for Dark Star, Live Dead, Grateful Dead. This is the only Grateful Dead album I have on vinyl anymore. I sold all the others. Saw the Grateful Dead twice back in the 70s, so I've experienced the swirl. I have been on the spaceship that their music would set up. I have experienced it. It's unbelievable. It's never to be forgotten. And they captured something special here on Dark Star. There's a point, and I hear it and feel it, where the music just, okay, something's happening here. We don't know what's going on, but just all of a sudden the music goes to another level. And it's captured here. Another album that I pulled from my old childhood, Kinks. Hadn't played this forever. And I think it's unfortunate the Kinks are not lauded the same way as the Who are. And they should, just like they had this big desert thing going on with the Stones and Bob Dylan and Neil Young and Roger Waters and Paul McCartney and the Who. Did anyone even think about the Kinks for a second? You Really Got Me? So important to the development of rock and roll, the sound of rock and roll. They're still alive. What's the deal? What's the deal? So, that's what's going on with me. If you follow me on Facebook, you know that the last thing that I said, but politically, was just basically how, I'm just so saddened by how the ruling class uses the media as their tool of propaganda, and how they push division and they have us so badly divided that Republicans and Democrats can't talk to each other. It's all for personal gain. They all frame it as though we're doing something good for you, which is all lies. And somehow America is so asleep, or the world is so asleep or so mixed up, that this goes on. It just tears at my heart. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy life, but then I look at the news and I look at the tone of society and see what's being played out. And it's just a shame. We don't have any leaders. It reminds me of that old movie of Jerry Lewis's, dating myself. Who's Minding the Mint? Anybody remember that movie? No one's minding the mint. The fuckers are buck wild, in it for themselves. I guess people want to just hold on to fantasy or whatever their life experience is that tells them that this is okay. It's always been like this, I know that, but that it's not okay. That's the point. It's not okay.